it feel to be in this final group? Like, what is that like going from season 19 where you left it to now?
Feel amazing. I think the weight of the entire cast itself make it even more special to be what are we now? Six? Final six standing. But yeah, I think it's because of that. It makes it extra special than season 19.
How do you feel that you've grown or changed as a designer from when
Um,
first time?
from the first time to now. I mean, the first time, it's kind of like going to college and then you're done with the undergrad and you go to graduate school. So that's kind of that feeling. You've been down that road before, you made the mistakes before, you know what not to do, how to approach different and certain things, the delicate things to leave alone, the things that you should continue to push on. So there was that difference there. And then, in the growth from season 19, I went into season 20 with that in mind. Like, I'm here to put work before these judges to get their critique, and that's it.
So you mentioned, being with this group, it's like being with the best of the best to a degree. So for you at this point, looking back, is there anyone that was eliminated that you felt like maybe they should have stuck around? We're not saying for who, but just maybe they had more to give.
Nora.
Okay.
I felt like, and it's because Nora and I we got very close after the show and aired. Once we're done taping, and then I see what Nora is doing by herself now, and I'm like, I really wish people had a chance to see this from you because I think that's what it was. It was the first time you got into this. Give me one quick second.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So it was Nora. I feel like she had a lot to give, and she if she were I think she was at 2 episodes more, we'll be saying something different.
Okay, okay. So a show like Project Runway, it's obviously very competitive. How do you balance staying true to your vision, but making sure that you appeal to what the judges look for? Because as you mentioned, you've been through it before, so you kind of know the things that pique.
Yeah. Um, and then again, that's kind of where season 20 come in play again. I was myself all day. The competition was within me. I think my season 19, I was afraid to take some risk. I was afraid if I couldn't finish that scene, they were gonna go inside of it. It's gonna be a whole thing. My brain is built on quality work. Not that this season was any different, but this season I went into it like without thinking about any of these things. And then I find that I did finish. The scenes were right and all of those things. So I guess going in, it's like, do I want to do something that is gonna have a great conversation and it's not me and move me to the next round? And it's like, no, I'm gonna do me. If it takes me to the bottom, I think I've grown enough to accept that fact. And every choice that I made and every decision that I made were mine. And I feel like season 20, it's your decision to make. Know the consequences, whether you in, whether you out. And if you can live with that, take risk. And that's what I went there for. I've seen work come out of me. I'm still shocked.
So, kind of to that point, I was going to ask you, what have you learned about yourself as a designer and as a person through both of these processes?
I There's a lot more in there, and there's a lot more untapped magic to be made. Um, and I'm sure. And after Project Runway, I just did my streetwear collection in February, which like still blows my mind for the things that I came out. And I really saw that it's from that growth, it's from seeing that it's taking that risk. And even in my work now, I learned what I learned from from being there. And I'm applying them to my work every day. From season 19, that's what I did. And I went back on season 20, that's what I'm going to continue doing. Is to take all that constructive criticism and apply them to my everyday work. Because I do work, I'm always working. You can hear the machine going on right now. So it's like, but being in a season like this with such incredible cast, you you're gonna say you're competing with Cartel? Like, I'm sorry. That I mean, that's auntie right there. That's the same woman that opened my eyes into this world of fashion as a thing, as a career. I can make a living with this. I can change people's life with this. That's the woman that I saw. That was my representation. So now you want me to compete with her? It just can't happen. So
So for you, what was the moment like in your childhood or back in the day, or what was the piece that inspired you that you knew that you wanted fashion to be a career choice for you?
Well, for me, fashion started a little bit different. Fashion was more like an escape, a place where I went when things were rough. I grew up in Haiti and things were always rough. If it was not natural disaster, it was a government instability, or it was whatever it was. So it was always rough. My childhood, you don't want to get into it. It'll take you a whole other 30, 45 minutes. Really out 10. But I guess when I came here, I'm also adopted. My parents, who adopted me, noticed that there was this love for creating little dresses for things like corn, things like the Barbies. I had dolls or anything that would allow me to stick a two stick in there and create a little stick figure thing, and I'll make clothes for. And then she enrolled me into art classes, and I started going to them. I went to art school. And then that's when it started to become like, oh, this is a real thing. Like, no Haitian parents want their kids to be designers or models. It's not a thing in our culture. Don't say it to your parents. You might lose your teeth. It's just, it's one of those things. So, but moving out of Haiti and kind of having just different family now that notice the art, that know art, and they wanted to push it, and they did. And thank God they did, because I did my first collection in my art class in high school. I was a freshman. I was a sophomore, and look where we are today.
Are now, right? So if you create a collection around the theme or the idea of Project Runway, what would it consist of? Like, what materials would you?
Craziness. You know what? If that were to be the case, it probably would be all unconventional. Some real tough. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, that's actually a good idea. I never thought about that. I don't know what that would look like, to be quite honest, but that's exciting. Exciting.
You can have that.
Thank you. I am gonna put that on my list. But that's actually very exciting, like around Project and what that would be, because it truly is an experience, and there are many moments there. I don't know, because we don't have any like connection with the outside world where everything is like extra special. So we do have a lot of moments. So it'd be nice to see what that would be like.
So, kind of in that vein, what are the relationships like that you connect with over this process? Even though you're in competition, you mentioned Nora. What is it like, sort of bonding with these people, even though at the end of the day you are competing?
Yeah. Season 19 was the same. We bonded immediately. We became like a core group. Season 20 was different, but the same way. We were so close to each other. It was very weird. And I think it was this level of respect and understanding that we are the best. And if you're the best and you're sitting in a room full of the best, then there's no reason to be stabbing each other in the back or any of that. There was none of that. So there was a level of respect that we had for each other, where we like, okay, outside of this runway, we are people. On the runway, the judges get to decide whatever they're deciding. The competition is on the runway. We work very hard, we are very competitive. That's not to say we're not, like, but the idea of this competition thing as a group, it didn't really live around us. We were like, oh my God, I left my fabric at the store. Like, oh yeah, I have 3 hours there. There you go. Oh my God, my interfacing is horrible. Like, oh yeah, that's some interfacing. Even to the point where you see on the show, even when contestants are done with their work early, they will help the other, things like that. So it really was like there was no need for any of that, because we know who we are in this room, and it was completely like anonymous with everyone. We understood that.
Okay, so as we head into the finale and the final groups, what are your final thoughts on sort of everything that we know of to this point. Obviously, you know more, but everything that we know collectively, what are your thoughts where we are currently?
What do you mean? Like, what are my thoughts? Like,
Well, what are your thoughts about the experience up to this point, knowing that you have made it down to this group and are on the cusp of something that, you initially started out with before, and now you're having a redo and you're right there?
yeah, you don't want to know my thoughts at this point. Um, but yes, it does give you this oh my God, I'm so close kind of energy. You want it, it's there. But it also is around the time where you need to decide like what's going to happen here? Like where are we going with this? What's happening? What do I want? Is that what I want? Like all of that come into play at that moment. So it's a very, very stressful moment right now because you know and few more challenges, you're going to the finals. So everyone is at that point where you think about all the details of what that would be like to win, and to get to that collection. So at that, the feelings don't make sense.